How's it going? Welcome back to Integrity Wood. If you're new to the channel, my name is Mike. I'm in my first year of a firewood business. That's my wood yard. This is an old chicken run turned into a wood yard. If you're interested in seeing how all that went for me, you can go back and watch some previous videos where I manually tear this place apart. It was a lot of work to get it to where it is today. But you can see behind me here, I got a good bit of wood stacked up, rounds ready to go. This has been my last few trips out to the tree service place. I wouldn't say panicked, but I'm definitely motivated to get as much wood out of there as possible. He is getting ready to do a project out there in the next couple of months, and they're going to be getting rid of their wood piles. They'll have a spot to continue to add wood to it, but as you get into the winter, I'm assuming the tree service game kind of slows down considerably. So I am on a mission to stack up as much wood as I possibly can. Gentleman whose property I have my wood yard on, he loans me the use of his trailer, and he is busy with that trailer today. He's got a little farm market and he's out buying stuff and needed the trailer. So no hustling to go get wood. Today we're splitting. So I kind of pace that off. That's roughly a cord of wood right there. We'll go up and take a look at it. I'm gonna see if I can get that split today. With this little, the Huskee splitter over there, she's powerful, but she is not fast, and my system isn't all that fast. I don't have a conveyor or anything, so you know, we're splitting into carts and wheelbarrows, and then I have to go stack it. So just gonna do everything I can to get this pile knocked out. I'm just gonna work my way down. I'm just gonna chunk it down and move the splitter as I go. So yeah, here, I'll show you the wood pile. All right, so that's standing about actually 5 feet tall. It's 6 skids long. They're 4-foot skids. So that's every bit of a cord of wood right there. Kind of a mixed bag here. Got maple in there down here, and these bigger rounds up here, the kind of the reddish stuff. The really white stuff there is going to be hackberry. I've gotten a lot of hackberry. Some of this middle stuff here is mulberry. I've come to understand I'm dealing with mulberry. The stuff with the orange center is honey locust. Heavy, heavy, heavy firewood. That stuff is crazy how heavy it is. But it makes great firewood. Just takes longer to takes a little bit longer to dry out from what I'm seeing. Down here is going to be big maple rounds all the way down through here. And then on our last trip out, we scored all this ash. I think I took you guys along for that. No, I didn't take you along for the ash. Actually, that was one where it was late at night and I was just trying to get it done before it got dark. So there's that. And then on the back side, which I cannot see me getting into this today unless I just have a really good day. More maple all along the bottom here. And then that's going to be ash right up top there. So, and then here's a little quick tour of what I got going on over here. So this is my drying wood. So this whole run here is maple. So you can see where it's grayed out down there. That stuff's already dry and ready to go. That's from earlier this year. This is a mixed bag of mostly hackberry on the front side. We get in some honey locust and black locust. There's mulberry mixed in between there. And then on this run, the front half here is hickory. I bought, that's a third of a cord of hickory. I bought that, got that pretty cheap on Facebook Marketplace at the beginning of the year, so I went ahead and picked that up. But this is ash. This is some of the ash that I scored, not only from a friend's tree, but from the tree service. And you can see that kind of dividing line. That whiter stuff is hackberry. I'm gonna finish this out with it. I haven't quite decided. I think I'll just finish this out with hackberry and ash. Then again, on the back side, this is kind of another mixed bag of the hackberry and the honey locust, that oranger stuff, and then a little bit of mulberry in there. The stuff up top here, the darker stuff, is mulberry. So the plan here, or what I'm kind of coming to conclusion is, I'm going to finish this out with nothing but honey locust. I'm going to start separating out the honey locust. I thought it and the hackberry, which is also pretty heavy dense wood, but not quite as heavy as the honey locust, and it dries considerably faster, at least in what I've been experiencing so far this summer. So I'm going to start doing my honey locust separate. I'm going to do, just added these skids here. That there is just some small bits and pieces for a buddy of mine. He's going to come get that sometime this fall. And then we're going to start a run of maple here, and then another run on the backside of whatever it is I need to make a run of. And then we've got more yard to add skids, and I got plenty of skids. So yeah, so that's my current situation here in the wood yard. All right, so here we go. Getting ready to bust these logs up. I'm hoping, we'll see if I can get through this. I don't know if I got enough time in the day to make it happen. I know some of these guys, the processors, can do a cord of wood in, a half hour or an hour, and that is not what I've got going on. But I'm gonna give her hell today. It's windy. Might have to batten down the hatches here a little bit with my shade canopy here. It's getting a little rickety. So, but yeah, we're gonna fire this thing up. Stick around. All right, we're ready for round 2. Nice and smooth. This is so enjoyable in this weather. That maple was splitting great. You can see the difference between the maple and the hackberry. That hackberry is stringy. I've had a little bit of hackberry that split real nice, but most of it, man, even if it's not knotty, it is just a stringy mess. So, yeah, we're just gonna keep working our way down the pile. I'm down to the last few half rounds of maple down here, and then we'll start getting into the hackberry and the honey locust and stuff, and we'll get that all sorted out. I'm trying to stack it a little bit separately, so figure out what I want to do there. But yeah, we'll get going. Round 2. All right, end of round 2. Yeah, see some of this, that's hackberry right there, and it's not stringy at all. It's rare. Every now and again I'll get one that isn't stringy. The last thing I was doing there was that honey locust. It smells awesome. I love the smell of that stuff. So we're gonna get it stacked up and get back to splitting. There we go. All right, here we go with round 3. I think this one's mainly going to be honey locust and some mulberry and well, I think it's mulberry anyways, and maybe a little bit of black locust, maybe some hackberry. See how much we can fit in these carts, but I'm trying to keep them separated because I'm wanting to stack them differently. Not every single species, but like I'm just trying to understand how quick they dry, what I got, and if I have to load a truck up with mixed hardwoods and I have to go to 3 different stacks to like kind of mix in maple and hackberry and ash and honey locust, if any of it's ready, you know, then I can. If not, then it's just harder for me to know. I don't want to have to be doing moisture tests, you know, on my honey locust that's all entwined inside, which I'll have a little bit of that. I'm not unstacking it just to restack it, but I've moved some of the honey locust from over there to over here just to make it easier. So here we go, round 3. We're about 2 hours in, so I took out a skid. So it's at 1/6 of a quart in like 2 hours. So that's what's getting everything set up and everything. So yeah, either way, it's enjoyable. The weather is awesome. Let's get this splitter fired up. Here we go. All right, here we go. 3 is done. One heavy cart of honey locust and one wheelbarrow full of hackberry. All right, here goes number 4. We're gonna be splitting ash in this round. I'm gonna try to load them both up with some ash. My stacks were getting a little crazy, so I moved some things down this way. Not the most efficient, but it's easier than moving everything. And I was trying to get all that honey locust and stuff, and it's just too buried. So we're gonna bust out some of this ash. Here we go. It's a load of ash. Load of ash for that cash. All right, we're back at it. Let's get this going again. We got everything stacked up. Got more ash pulled over here. I've moved it over. Just didn't want to have to move the shade canopy, to be honest. So yeah, we're gonna fire this baby up. Got all my honey locust staged, so we're gonna do, this round's gonna be, should pretty much just be ash, I believe. And then we'll start getting into that honey locust. Got a little bit of basswood, and then found some blue spruce in there. I didn't know what it was, and turns out it's blue spruce. When I smelled it, it's definitely pine. So that'll just go to my house. I just use it in my backyard. But all right, here we go. All right, guys, I think that's going to wrap this day up. I'm going to give you a quick tour around, show you what all we got done. It's getting late. I'm feeling old and tired. The weather was perfect. I don't feel run down, honestly. I just kind of overdoing it. I'm just kind of bored with it, want to be done. But yeah, let me give you a quick tour of what we got going on, what what we stacked today and what we got left. All right, so here's some of the remnants. This here is the blue spruce that, probably not that piece there. This is all blue spruce. That's just gonna go to my backyard for campfire wood. Some basswood here. These are some of the big basswood. Big maple rounds, maple. Those big ones, those weren't part of what I was trying to get done today. So the question being, can I get a cord of wood done in a day? Yeah, I could if it was all day, but it'd be just that. If I had a body here, obviously it would go twice as fast. So definitely with another body. By myself, stacking, kind of doing it the way that I was doing, not so much. So these are all big giant maple rounds for the most part. We do have some ash still left. So all this stuff here, this top stuff is ash. Like I said, we got more on the back. More ash is the top row, and the bottom row is pretty much maple. So no, I did not get a full cord done today, which, man, I watch a lot of wood splitting on YouTube, and you just see how quick these guys with nicer setups do wood, and it's like, oh man. But we got to get there. So didn't really touch this pile. This pile is pretty much done. We did add quite a bit. That's a little harder to tell apart than I thought it was going to be. So the lighter stuff in there, well, you really can't hardly tell. It's just shadows. That's all ash. I started to do hackberry here because I didn't have any ash. And then I topped it off with ash, and I'm going to finish this out with ash. From what I can tell, they seem to be drying at about the same speed. So that should work out good for me. And then over here, I stopped doing hackberry, and I'm just going to finish this out as honey locust. So you can see the gray line there is going to be the hackberry. And this, all that red, is honey locust. So yeah, I'm feeling good about that. That's a bunch of honey locust. It seems to take a while to dry, so we're gonna finish that run out. And then I started my new run over here, and this is the maple. This is my new maple run here, and then hackberry, and that's a little bit of the black locust. So yeah, that's what we got done. Again, doesn't really feel like I accomplished all that much, but I mean, it was an enjoyable day. I enjoyed it. I'm not trying to set any records here or impress people. I'm just trying to do what I can do with what I got. But it'd be nice to have something that split a little faster, and just running this into a dump trailer and then stacking out of that, or not stacking at all, or whatever the heck it is I end up doing in the future. So, but that's where we're at. That's the inventory, and was for my setup, a pretty productive day. All right, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Appreciate you guys sticking around and watching. If you like what you saw, give us that thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. And remember, no matter what it is you do or where it is you do it, always do integrity.